conversation. But one thing I will mention while it's on the forefront of my mind, which is how this all works, is because I have recruited a lot of people. You have to understand, I've been doing this 10 years, and I have met in real life thousands of white nationalists. And when they have anime girls as their profile picture, there's about a 90% chance they're going to give you that disgusting wet fish handshake when you meet them for the first time. If they even give you a handshake, they don't even look you in the eye. They have messy, grubby hair. I'm sure they're probably thinking at least they have hair. They're just unhealthy creatures. Usually their skin's really bad, covered in acne, like the meme. Like it sounds like a stereotype, but it's true. And they give you this kind of sweaty wet fish handshake, and you have to wash your hands afterwards because you're like, what the fuck? And this is not every single one of them, but this is the majority of them, the ones that get off the internet. So imagine the ones that aren't, that don't have the courage to get off the internet. Imagine what they look like. And I've met them probably from age sort of 18 or maybe just under, all the way up to about 30. And they're all the same. They're all either overweight or grossly skinny, and they're just the worst. They are the worst recruits we ever have. They're just the worst caliber humans, and they have anime girl profile pictures. Anime profile pictures different, a little bit different, mixed bag, some solid, some not solid. So I did want to clarify that at the start of the stream. I did want to say that my attack on this culture, this subculture that I see as a serious issue, is not an attack on people that have cartoons as their profile picture, as much as it is a specific type of this subculture that is heavily riddled through that scene. And they all know it, and they can't deny it. There's a sex pestery. It's a different strain of not groiper. They're gropers. They're all gropers. Groipers, bronies, anime girl, 2D girlfriend, retards. They're all gropers. They're all sex pests. They didn't develop properly. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them. Obviously, some worse than others. And it's pretty bad. Now, Pepe the Frog, pretty funny. Not gonna lie, love that shit. It's cool, but it is not good enough for 2025. Anyway, so he made the post, and what I found was there was a strong correlation between people with anime girl profile pictures and really nasty, antagonistic, evil responses. So there was some, genuine kind of responses, like these kind of groiper talking points, like, oh, I'm going to get involved in, I'm going to climb my way through the establishment, and but these nasty, like these really nasty, evil ones, like I don't know how to explain it. People talking about, I did hear the meat grinder dropped a few times. They talk about the meat grinder, which we can get into, but this kind of commentary that you're all basically a bunch of knuckleheads, that you're low IQ, you're morons, and you're just going to get everyone sent to prison. And these kind of people, when I see these comments, I click on their profile, because I'm like, I want to know what kind of caliber this person is. I want to see what their psyche's at, someone that makes this kind of comment. And some of these accounts were massive. I was really surprised. Some of these accounts like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. They're not like kind of like little anons. They're like kind of medium anons. And then I click on the account and I scroll 3, 5, 7, 9 posts down. And half of the posts that I look through are 10 to 12-year-old anime girls in bikinis that are being sexualized. And I think to myself, what the fuck? What the fuck? This fucking freak is calling us a bunch of knuckleheads? Like, no wonder these people stay on the fucking internet. Imagine meeting that cunt in real life. First training session, get the gloves on. First training session, did you bring a mouthguard? Like, that's going to be fun, isn't it? Like, no wonder they're afraid of push-ups. No wonder they hide in their little dark corners on the internet. You little freak. You wouldn't last 5 seconds in our world. You have no honor. You have no dignity. You're a piece of shit. That's why you're posting pictures of drawings of 10-year-old girls in bikinis. You little disgusting little creep. Your little sloppy little fish handshake, Kuma You can smell it on these people when you meet them in person. You can smell it. And most of the time I tell them, come back in 12 months. That's my polite way. I don't just bash them, although they deserve it. They deserve a kick in the head. But I just say, come back in 12 months. Now, what I found was this huge correlation between the people making the arguments as to why it's horrible to get involved in real life and the people spreading basically child pornography or borderline child pornography, like borderline child pornography on Twitter. And that is not me exaggerating. That is not me, what would you call it, like bad jacketing. That's not me like just making false accusations of pedophilia. I actually engaged in an argument with one of these freaks where I called him a pedophile. And then he said, show me the child porn or show me the pedophilia. And I just screenshotted 2 posts on his profile that are obviously pedophilic and just put him in the thread. And then he just didn't reply to that and made a new thread calling me brown and gay and a pedophile and all this other shit. And these are big accounts. He's like 10,000 likes on him. But it's this weird circle jerk. It's this weird hug box of losers. And I acknowledge that we have in the Western world, not just in the movement, but in the Western world, there is an incel problem. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that young white men are alienated, they're alone, they're demonized, they're bastardized, and all of the above. I acknowledge that. I want to fix the problem. The system can't fix the problem. It's not capable. It's just making it worse. It's alienating them even more. But I am critical of this, and we need to fix it. And when I say that this is part of the problem, that part of the problem is I go through their accounts, and when they're not posting borderline child porn and the most wretched shit, they're making, when they are making a statement on their own account that's in their own words, they're talking about how their job is to watch anime for 10 hours a day. And that's why they don't become a wage slave to the system. Because their job is to watch anime 10 hours a day. And I think to myself, if this person's under the age of 18, he can probably be saved. Because I have met young guys that have been somehow drawn into this subculture, and we've managed to pull them out and turn them into men. Turn them into respectable young men. And that's not, you're now going to be a wage slave to the system and, you can't have fun, you have to, fucking cut wood or something like that's not what we're about. What people do in their private time, a little bit of escapism, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of vidya, a little bit of, they want to drink on the weekend, whatever. I don't care. That doesn't, we've got a lot of fish to fry. I agree. We've got a lot of problems in our society. And what people do in a little bit of their personal time, as long as they're moving in the right direction. And where we have serious issues with the bottom 5% of our membership is they're not moving in the right direction. They are further and further immersed in these disgusting, toxic, subhuman cultures that fester on the internet. I think for a serious amount of time to really be honest about your interpretations of the stimuli that you then receive later. Because there's so much information and we block out, we go numb, we block out so much of it. But sometimes I don't see someone for 2 or 3 weeks and I know they're kind of half involved in that subculture. And then I see them and it's like they've regressed. It's like an 18-year-old and it's like they don't want to be there. Like they rock up to the activism or they rock up to the training, but they don't want to be there. They're not putting in. I go over to them and I ask them, are you all right? Are you feeling okay? And they say, oh yeah, I'm just tired. You're like, oh, you're just tired. Did you eat today? And they're like, nah. And I'm like, man, it's 3 o'clock. You're a skinny guy. You gotta get something in before training. Don't have a massive meal before a 10K run, but you gotta put something in. And they're just like, oh yeah, And they're looking at the ground. They're shuffling their feet. And I'm like, is everything all right at home? What's going on? They're like, oh, not much. I'm like, what have you been doing? And they're like, oh, nothing. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, anyway, Barbie's going to be on soon. Have a good day. And it's like, fuck, that was hard. And then I go speak to one of the reps. And I say, what's going on with Anon? What's going on with him? I'm feeling for him. I care about him. What's going on? Oh, he's been fucking watching anime, jerking off. He's not helping himself. Oh. Okay. So when people say to me, Tom, why are you making a big deal out of this? Or Tom, don't go after the anime, 2D girlfriend crowd. They're too powerful. You wouldn't want to upset them. They're this internet powerhouse of theoretical ideas and political strength. Why would you go after them, Tom? It's like, because they're a fucking toxic rat subculture that I don't want anything to do with. And they're literally poisoning young people. They're poisoning this young people that are already on the periphery of even our movement. They're already the most damaged people that even we're like borderline, fuck, do we even bother helping this person? And I want to help these young guys because they're young. If they're 30, I say fuck off. I don't want anything to do with them because it's like, you're clearly too far gone.